Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this is going to be a Raid Shadow Legends video about the Sand Devils and Necropolis, and why everyone is kind of freaking out or putting too much pressure on themselves without needing to. I'm going to talk about why it is really realistic for you to all basically get to where you need to get to right now when it comes to ascending artifacts, and then what are going to be the best choices to invest the oil that you get in. Where is it going to be best and most optimized for the spending of it on your account? Which pieces should you be prioritizing? And then I'll show you the thought process of me doing that exact thing and picking the pieces that I will prioritize in spending resource, and then you'll get to see live if I get hoodwinked or if things go okay or awful and all of that. So let's get into it. Alrighty, now first of all, over on the community tab of the channel here, I've always got different polls going on for you, the viewer, to participate in and keep a pulse of how people are feeling out there about the game and the different things going on. And I had a poll right here saying, is oil worth farming? And we got 5,000 votes on that poll, a pretty decent sample size. And what it ended up being was 72% no and 28% yes. Now, I hope in this video that I can show you a different way to think about this and why I think that percent is going to be a lot higher, probably closer to 50-50 at least. Now, obviously, in the early game, oil isn't going to be something you're really needing. You're going to want oil once you've got like 6-star artifacts that are kind of the top end of gear that you are willing to really invest oil in. You don't really need to be putting oil into 3-star, 4-star gear and stuff like that. Maybe some super good 5-star gear, but typically you're going to want to prioritize the 6-star gear. And I would guess that that's at least half of you out there that are able to acquire 6-star gear on your account. And then the other half would be in the early game and the progression phase of their account and kind of getting to that point where they can farm high enough dungeon stages to get 6-star artifacts. But now, okay, there's some stuff that I want to talk about, and I'm going to be referring to a post and some resources that my good friend Coldbrew worked really hard on developing with me here for us to get on the website. And Coldbrew did a really good job laying this out on this table for you to kind of get a grasp of the energy efficiency based on each stage and what oil you're going to be acquiring, the small one, the medium one, or the large one. And what we can see here on this row right here, or column, sorry, but this column, the lesser per energy, we can see some things that we don't really need to stress out about getting to the end stages, because look at this. When we get up to these later stages, it's actually bad energy per oil acquired on the lesser tier, and we're going to need the most of the lesser right now. As we kind of get to a spot where we're figuring out which pieces are worth ascending, that's where we all need to be right now. We need to be acquiring the lesser oils so we can really go through our account and upgrade things to level 1 to see what stat we're going to be working with. And then once we get a good baseline of that and we know what artifacts we're going to chase towards investing resources in, then it would be time to try to progress to these later stages where we can get some of the medium and large oil. And hopefully by then you've developed your account a little bit more, and us as a community have come up with more progression teams and more ways to dive into the Sand Devil Necropolis successfully, and there will be more options and a better understanding at your disposal. Which means, in all honesty, when we're looking at this, like, I mean, stage 3 is fine. It's in the green. If you can get to stage 3, you don't have to feel bad about using that as an opportunity to acquire the lesser. If you got a little bit better of an account and you can progress more, look at stage 7. It's actually the best. It is actually the best ratio. So it's even optimal for someone like me right now to grind stage 7, because I want to get a bunch. I want to be swimming in lesser oil.
Life could be a dream if I could take you up in paradise up above,
so that I can really go through my account, all of the different artifacts and accessories, and see which ones are going to hit the right stat and which ones are not, because there is a lot of RNG involved. So I want to make sure I'm able to comb through my account and see which ones are worth it. And then once I do that, like I said, then I'll start going down here to the later stages and doing these ones in the green that are for the medium and the bigger oils. But also, if you do have a very powerful account and you are able to grind out these later stages, don't feel bad about that either, because you do get some lesser oil, so you'll kind of acquire it over time, and then when you do, you'll be in a spot where you've got enough of the medium and large oil to ascend your artifacts as well. So if you're capable of doing 24 and 25 and stuff, it's not like you have to force yourself down to stage 7 or anything. The whole point is, I'm saying that you're not really falling behind necessarily by only being able to do something like stage 7, because that's kind of a spot where you need to be in anyway to figure out where your direction is going to be going in terms of spending all this oil that you acquire. So right now, for the first few months of this dungeon, don't feel bad about doing the lower levels like 3, 7, and whatever to acquire a good baseline of those lesser oils. And the reason that I say all of that is when you go to ascend a 6-star piece, you'll see right here that it only takes the lesser oil. It's 60 lesser oil to get after ascending a 6-star piece. So even an endgame piece, you can ascend it and see what it rolls. And then you'll know, is that piece worth investing more stuff into, like the medium and the large oil. So that's why I say having a good baseline there of having tons of those 60s at a time. You can see I've got 750, so I can do like more than 10 ascensions right now live on video. And I'll also show you the thought process of where I should be spending my 750 lesser oil. And to have that discussion, I want to back up a little bit and talk about the overarching mentality around ascending the gear and where you should be kind of prioritizing stuff on your account based on where you're at. Now, I would say when you're early game, you want to be prioritizing your campaign farmer. You want to get to a point where you can do 12-3 brutal, super fast, like under 15 seconds. You want to get somebody that can be doing that. But super early game people aren't really going to be worried about the oil. You're not going to be diving in to the Sand Devil Necropolis before you've got a campaign farmer. So for people that are mid game, I would say your priority on your account is making sure that you can one key Ultra Nightmare Demon Lord. Once you get to that point, that is such a quality of life boost to your account. When you set yourself up like a composition that you can just full auto walk away and get that one key Ultra Nightmare reward every single day, I would say for a mid game player, that is definitely the priority. Then in the end game, when you would be more typically ready to dive into that Sand Devil's Necropolis, I would say at that point, you're probably prioritizing the Hydra. That's going to be some of the toughest content that you dive into, where you can get really good, rewards, and it's going to be really difficult to hit the higher stages. So the champions that you're using in the Hydra would be a good opportunity to look at some of their best pieces for Ascension. And also PvP. You want to make sure you're able to stay in Gold 5 consistently to max out your Great Hall and get all those bonuses, and also acquire a bunch of Magisteel so that you can dive into the Forge during CVC and do like hundreds of crafting every single time. And I say Gold 5 because that will be, applying to most endgame players, but obviously for the people in Platinum, ascending the right PvP gear is going to be a big part of the equation for them. So then after that, which slots are going to be most important to get ascended? And now that I'm talking about it, I think I misspoke earlier and talked about accessories as well. You cannot upgrade accessories. Like if you're new to Raid, you're not able to do that as of right now. You're not able to ascend accessories. So if I misspoke earlier, I don't remember if I did or not, but if I misspoke earlier, I apologize for that. You can only do these 6 gear slots up above here, these 6 artifact slots. And obviously, I think the most important ones are going to be the bottom pieces to get probably like speed is going to be the obvious one. So if you've got like some 6-star speed boots in a speed set or something for one of your like go first arena teams, that would be a great candidate for ascending. Also, I would say like crit damage gloves maybe for like your nuking champions. This would be a really fun one to try and ascend. We've got the 80 crit damage with the double speed and then the crit rate and attack. That would be a good candidate on a nuker. For that, I would get a lot of value out of trying to YOLO and get the right stat. So what I would kind of do is go into filter, and I'd probably start with boots, and I'd go primary stat speed, and then do equipped, and I would kind of see like what are my strongest champions wearing and what are the best pieces there. So this warlord right here, let me move my camera actually. There we go. Now you can at least see the piece I'm talking about. I've made that mistake before where I don't move myself and I'm sitting here talking about gear pieces that are sitting right over here and you can't even see what I'm talking about. So thankfully I remembered this time.
Thanks!
But okay, so this has got, you know, a 6-star speed. It's a legendary. It's got accuracy, resistance, and lots of toughness. So this is a really good piece, and you can see that a champion that I use a lot in PvP, Warlord, is wearing it. So this is a candidate of something that would be fun to ascend. So let's go ahead and let's ascend it and see what we get. We are hoping for speed. Cross your fingers and hope, and boom, we got the fat rip of the flat attack on a really good boot. But see, this is the point. This is why I'm saying this. Now I know that I'm not going to ascend that further. I don't need the medium and large oils. We figured out, we got flat attack. It's trash. I'm not going to ascend it further, and I move on to the next piece. And that's what I need to do on my account like 50 to 100 times to see which ones are going to be worth actually investing the resources in, and that one is not it. So we keep on sliding through, and something that I noticed that I want to make sure and mention is you can see that right here we've got some 6-star legendary speed boots that are pretty decent. You've got toughness, crit rate, attack, and 6-star legendary speed. So it looks like something that I might want to ascend, but look who's wearing it. Demetha. Now keep in mind, if you've got a speed tuned team for some sort of Iron Twins run or Demon Lord run, you may want to hold off on ascending that piece if it's something that's going to affect your speed. Now, if it is like rolling attack percent on a chest or crit damage on the gloves, totally fine. But for speed boots, you do want to be careful and make sure you're not going to be using it in a team that is already tuned and then thus messing up that speed tune. So then here is some more boots that have got all relevant stats. We've got toughness, accuracy, crit rate on 6-star speed. So let's go ahead and let's ascend it, and let's hope to get lucky at least once here. We get flat defense. So boom, this is just how it's gonna be. So and this is why this is perfect examples doing it live of why we're gonna need to do so much of this. So we're not having good luck with boots. Let's pop on over to gloves and let's do our best like crit damage gloves. Now right here, this is an Eris. This is in my clan boss team, but it's not going to affect speed. There's nothing I can do here ascending these crit damage gloves that will screw me over for speed, because if I pop them up, it will show you on the bottom middle, and you can take a look just to make sure if you kind of forget. But even though they have speed as a substat, you can see right there that we are not going to be getting the roll of speed as the ascension bonus, but we could get crit rate or crit damage, which would obviously make crit damage gloves a lot better by getting that ascension bonus on there. So why not? This piece is pretty good. Let's fire it up and let's see what we get. Boom, there we go. We got crit rate. So now these gloves would be really, really good. They're 6-star speed, legendary, and they are crit damage, and they got crit rate as the ascension bonus. So that would be a plus in the worth investing in category. So those ones are worth adding some of those later oils, some of the medium and large ones. So now I know doing these 3 pieces live for you on video kind of showed the thought process of figuring out which ones are going to be worth taking note of to slam more resin and which ones aren't. And you gotta be kidding me. I didn't even notice this. I just saw this live on video. my Eris was actually at 99% crit rate, and that ascension bonus got me up to the 100% crit rate right there.
How? Hold on, bro. How?
That is hilarious. So I did a collab with Deadwood Jedi to build my Demon Lord team, this like Myth Fu team with Eris and stuff. And I remember him saying like, oh rip, your Eris is 99% crit rate, you're probably gonna want to fix that at some point down the road and min max it as you get another gear piece drop. And I kind of forgot about it and never did it. Boom, there it is. We just did it live on video. So very, very powerful mechanic that you can see when you go through your account and comb through all these pieces, and you can do so even farming the earlier stages of the Necropolis. So boom, there we go. My goal here with this video was to show you how you don't need to stress yourself out if you're only able to get to like stage 7 or something in the Necropolis. It's totally fine. Don't worry about it. You need to do that right now anyway. And like I said earlier, I will link down below if you want to be able to pull up the text version and see that infographic for yourself that Cold Brew put together here on the site. That link will be down below if you would like to pull it up. So yeah, that'll do it for me on this one. As always, remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.